Hello students, welcome to another lecture that is on the chapter of communications and supporting subsystems. In the previous lecture we saw about the systems that is been required for the communications in the case of the vehicle, that is for the electric and hybrid vehicle. We saw about the in-vehicle networks, we saw about the different classes that is required, and we also saw about the heart of our electronic system in the electric and hybrid electric vehicle, that is control area network, that is CAN, right? That controls all the input and output that comes through the sensors in the vehicle, and it gives the proper output or proper feedback to all the components so that an instant response can be generated and the problem that has been arised can be solved. In this lecture we will see first about the brief of BMS, that is battery management system, how the management of the battery needs to be done in the case of vehicle. So in this you can see mostly the components for the hybrid vehicles, in which we have used a CVT for the transmission system. Also you can see that there are different ECUs that has been attached with all the systems. At the rightmost side you can see hybrid ECU that is been connected as a CAN member, controller area network member. With that we have connected brake and accelerator pedal of the driver, which the driver will press, and from that the signal will be generated from the hybrid ECU, and that signal will be transferred by the CAN to all the components, and the components which needs to be operated on that signal will operate by itself depending on the programming that will be done on that. The control system, whichever we are using, that programming will be done on the vehicle, and according to that program the component will give us the output which is required. Such as if we press the accelerator pedal, then the speed of the engine has to be increased. To increase the speed, the fuel level or the fuel in the engine will be inserted higher. If the accelerator pedal is pressed for too much force or the speed requirement is higher, then engine and electric motor both will operate simultaneously and the combined power will be given to the wheels. So different force on the accelerator will be differently supplied to the vehicle, and that different force will give us the depending or the required speed to our vehicle, right? Other ECU, you can see the transmission ECU is connected with our CVT or transmission system. The traction motor and generator is connected in between the engine and the transmission system. Also you can see the engine is connected with the injectors from which we are supplying the fuel. Also clutch ECU is there. So depending on the requirement of the speed and torque, the clutch operate on or off will also be given by our CAN network. Engine ECU is connected, starting and charging motor and generator is there, which gives us the cranking of the engine, right? It is still required. When we apply the start button, that will give us the cranking, and from that the engine can be started. You can see the engine and the motor is connected with power electronics. Power electronics is connected with battery, and the cabin air conditioning system is connected through the battery for the auxiliary power supply. So battery is connected with power electronics. When required or when the ECU gives the signal, at that time the power electronics will take the power from the battery and it will supply further to the motor, so that the extra power can be supplied to our vehicle if the speed requirement is higher. Next is energy management strategies, right? The strategies that needs to be kept in place for the energy management. Now these strategies are basically just a programming, right, for the different components. Because of that, we have to keep the program that if the force on the brake pedal is this much, then the output should be this much, right? This is how the programming works. If the pedal force on the accelerator is something like this, then according to that the speed of the vehicle should be like 30 km per hour, 40 km per hour. All the condition have to be defined earlier. After that condition has been defined, the vehicle is being given the signal, and according to that conditions the vehicle operates. And this is how simply hybrid vehicle does operate in the case of the electric management. You can see that the classification, basically first there are two basic types, that is rule based strategies and optimization based strategies. From that, mostly the rule based strategies are used on which the rules are defined, and we will learn and we will see how these rule based strategies work. Optimization based strategies work in the case of the global optimization and the real-time optimization, in which the optimization of the different components will be done depending on the different situations, and that will be a real-time optimization, for which we can see there are different types, that is linear programming, dynamic programming, stochastic programming, and generic algorithm control theory. All these theories are actually very much complicated, so we will just learn about the rule based theory, how the rules are defined and how that rules does operate our all the controlling system. In the case of the real-time optimization, you can see it is the most complicated method, but it gives us the very precise operation of our vehicle. For that, you can see that EFC is minimization, robust control, model predictive method, and the decoupling control. All these are the optimization based technologies. Now for the rule based technologies that we are going to see, in which the first that you can see right side is the deterministic rule based strategies. In that there are state machine strategy, modified power follower strategy, and thermostat control strategy, in which the thermostat control is the most common or the most easiest method. Generally the method that we actually use in the vehicle is different from all these four, which is fuzzy logic rule based strategy. Now in the case of the fuzzy logic rule based strategy, there are three types, that is predictive, adaptive, and conventional. In the conventional manner, we will just define the rules and the vehicle have to follow. In the case of the adaptive technology, the rules will change itself depending on the vehicle condition. When the vehicle runs, according to the different situations, the rules will keep changing itself for the betterment of the vehicle, which is an adaptive technology. And in the case of the predictive technology, the system or the control strategy will predict the situation that is going to happen in the future, and according to that prediction the rules will be formed in the case of the fuzzy logic. So basically mostly in the vehicles we use fuzzy logic system or the rule based strategy. Before that, basic strategies which are thermostat power follower, modified power follower, and the state machine rule based strategy is also almost similar to all these things. They define different rules, and according to rules the vehicle needs to be operated. So first let's just see about the rule based strategy, how this rule based strategy is going to work in a very simple way in case of the hybrid vehicle. The graph that you are seeing is the torque versus RPM graph for the engine. As we all know that when torque requirement is higher, the RPM will go lower, and that is depend on our gearbox system. That is, you can see the graph or the map that is being given inside the different conditions for the motor and engine, the gas and only engine, for the maximum engine torque. There are different mapping has been done on the graph. Now this overall graph has been divided in three parts. You can see dark lines or dark curves which has been drawn in the graph, which is divided in the three manner. First one is the class A, second one is class B, and third one is class C. So if the values of the required torque or the speed is in the class A, which is the lowest part, at that time the power will only be supplied from our electric motor, because the engine fuel efficiency is lowest in that part, right? So during that class A, only what will supply? Electric motor will supply the power. In the space of the class B, you can see that only engine will supply the power and motor will stay off, because during the class B, the engine efficiency or the fuel efficiency is at the highest value, right? And the third one, that is class C. In the class C, the power and the torque requirement is at the highest. So here efficiency does not matter. So that in that case, because of the higher torque and speed demand, we have to supply the power from both engine as well as motor. So during the class C values of the torque and speed requirement, engine and motor both will supply the power simultaneously, because the power requirement is higher. So this is how just we have defined the rules, that if the values are in certain area, then this component has to supply the power. So this is how all the rules is defined for the hybrid vehicle, and on the basis of that rule the vehicle works. So in this video we saw about the management strategy for the energy. In the next lecture we will see about another strategies that needs to be used for the vehicle. Until then, thank you so much.